Hey, Chaba here, and today I want to talk about copywriting. More specifically, I want to answer the most common types of questions that I get when it comes to copywriting. Because I get a lot of these, and since copywriting is such a central part in my own life, I figured a lot of people could get a lot of value from this video as well. So, first of all, why copywriting? Well, three quick reasons for you. First, it's a great way to make money and to use it as a career to give you the freedom and financial independence that you need to live the life that you want. Secondly, you can do all this by being quite flexible. So all you need to work as a copywriter is to have a laptop, an internet connection, and some type of word processing software. That's it. And the whole magic lies in you basically creating a Word document, which is a few pages long, handing it off to your client and getting paid hundreds or even thousands of dollars for that specific type of copy. And if you think about it, it's really powerful. You're basically trading words for money, a lot of money. And I don't know of a lot of career opportunities or other skills that allow you to do this and that don't really need any type of investment on your side except the knowledge and except the practice that you need to do this. And the third reason, which a lot of people don't think about, is that this way you get to know how humans work. Because copywriting, yes, it's about making sales and getting subscribers and all these marketing related stuff. But at the end of the day, it's persuasion psychology and it's how people make decisions. And if you're interested in these type of things, like I am, then copywriting is the best skill, the best thing to learn ever, because it's the closest thing that you'll ever get to understanding how people operate, how they make decisions, how they make emotional decisions, rational decisions, irrational decisions. And then you can use this information to basically walk around the world as a woke person, because you know what people do. You know that they say something and they do something else, and you understand why, and you know how to influence them, how to persuade them, how to get them to do what you like them to do in most cases. So this is really powerful because you can use it in your business, in your own life, in your relationship, with your kids, with your parents, anything. And if you learn how to be a good copywriter, then you automatically learn how to do this as well, which I think is pretty cool. So there's another reason why I wanted to create this video, and it's because a few weeks ago, together with one of my clients, Improvement Pill, we got together and created a quiz that basically asked people whether they would be interested in becoming a copywriter as well, a professional freelance copywriter, and what are their main challenges when it comes to copywriting. And I was basically blown away by the quality and the quantity of these responses. So many people, hundreds of people have responded, and it was clear that a lot of people are interested in this. A lot of people do want to use copywriting to start a new lucrative career, to make an extra $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 on the side, or even use it as a full-time career. But the problem is that people don't know where to start. Most of them never heard of this before. A lot of people totally confuse copywriting with copywriting, which is a legal thing to do, and it's basically it's about intellectual property, which is totally different from the selling aspect of direct response copywriting that this video is about. So after seeing all those responses, after seeing that the number one problem people have that prevents them to start their own copywriting journey is that they don't know how to get clients. And this is a theme that comes up so often that I knew I had to address this, because most people are dealing with this problem, and the fix isn't that hard, to be honest. But a lot of people don't know about this. So this is also the purpose of this video, to answer these questions and to basically help our fans and our viewers, our subscribers, to better understand what copywriting actually is and to basically do it, because anybody can do it regardless of their skill, their age level, their language. You don't have to be an English major for this. You don't have to have a fancy a business degree. You don't even need a university degree for this. Anyone can do it, but you do need to put in the work to learn the fundamentals, to practice these, because this is not a quick get-rich-quick scheme. It's not a magic pill type solution. I know a lot of gurus promise that you can become a millionaire overnight, and then you can also do Instagram videos with Lamborghinis and everything, but this is not really that type of gig. It's not that hard, but you do need a step-by-step process, and you do need guidance on how to get there. So I want to quickly address 5 major things that seem to always come up whenever we talk about copywriting. First of all, what copywriting exactly is, and how do you get started even if you have no idea where to start? Secondly, how to land paying clients even if you've never done this before. Third, how to actually make sure that you deliver on your promise and you do great work so that those clients can refer you to others and you move up the ladder as a go-to expert in this niche. Fourth, showing you a step-by-step process that I use whenever I work on a copywriting project. Doesn't matter what it is, I use the same type of process every single time, and a lot of people could learn a lot from this. And finally, how to discover whether copywriting is a right career path for you. So let's jump right in with the first thing, what exactly copywriting is and how to get started, even if you have no idea where to start. So basically, the simplest form would be that copywriting is the art and science of coming up with marketing ideas and communicating those marketing ideas to a certain audience so that they take an action. And this action could be subscribing to something, buying something, commenting, liking, referring, replying, anything. Basically, you're asking for people to do something, which is quite hard to do because the default thing that people do is to do nothing. So they don't want to work, they don't want to do anything, they just want to do nothing. And the challenge in copywriting lies in the fact that it's really, really hard to move people. It's really hard to get people to click on a link, especially nowadays when, the whole world is so attention starved. It's so hard to differentiate yourself. But regardless, human nature is the same. It will always be the same. And if your copy is good, if you know how to come up with a persuasive sales message as part of the copywriting process, then you definitely have the edge when it comes to getting people to do what you want. And what companies have realized is that this is a hugely important and valuable service. So a lot of business owners don't know how to do this themselves. They don't want to invest the time to learn it. They don't have the time to write all those things and to basically strategize the marketing ideas behind all these things. And that's why they hire copywriters, specialized copywriters who do these things for them. But since copywriting is so close to the money, meaning that so much of the company's sales and success with the product depends on the quality of the copywriting, of the quality of the persuasiveness of the text, that companies are willing to pay a lot of money for this, because they know, the smart companies at least, that there's a huge difference between using bad quality copy or even just average quality copy and using very good professional and persuasive copy written by a real pro. So that's why if you move up the ladder, if you learn the foundations of copywriting, you can already start earning decent money, like starting with hourly rates of like 30, 40, 50 bucks per hour, which is not bad. But if you move up the ladder, the 2 times better you become, maybe the 3 times more money you can make. And if the 10 times better you become, you can make 20 times more money. And you catch my drift? It's definitely not really a linear process. And that's why the best paid copywriters in the world, who earn millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, and they also earn royalties, they earn all these recurring income, even if they don't know anything, and they have huge retainers as well. They are really masters at the top of their game. But even copywriters who aren't these so-called A-listers, they can earn a lot of money. And even if they just reach out to some companies and say, hey, have you thought about rewriting your website? Or do you have an email marketing in place? Do you send your subscribers regular emails? Have you ever thought about tweaking that Facebook ad? Or do you want to create like a specialized sales page for a product instead of like a homepage? All these things are handled by copywriters. And don't worry if this seems overwhelming or a lot to you. It's definitely something that you can learn. And since not a lot of people talk about this, especially not in terms of quality information, they just want to sell stuff to you, their own copywriting course. But which is okay, by the way. But the thing is, if you don't know these fundamentals, these essential fundamentals, then you have no chance of making it. But if you know, and if you put in some work, because you do need to practice this craft to become good at it, then you can quickly snowball into a highly sought after go-to expert within just even a few months, but 1, 2, 3, 4 years. You can definitely start earning 6 figures as a copywriter. Which again, if you think about other career paths, you can hustle a lot and still only earn like a 10% raise in good cases per year or something. But with this, you can basically double your fees whenever you want. Like if you do 3 successful client projects, you can double your fees or increase your fees 50% after that. If there's demand for you, or if you know what you're doing and you know you can deliver on your results, then you can ask a decent price for it. And this actually brings us to the second thing that always comes up, which is the number one pain point of people. And it's how to get clients, how to get paying clients when they're just getting started. And I get it, this is super hard. It seems super hard, at least, because when you get started, you have no portfolio, you have no references, no testimonials, no nothing. And you don't even know, like, should you cold email companies? Should you call them? Should you call your uncle to try to pitch your services to them? What should you do? And a lot of people end up, going to places like Fiverr, selling their services for like $10 or something, which is obviously not the way to go. And smart copywriters never do this. Smart copywriters, they build a portfolio early on. Like even if you have to do a project for free for someone, it's worth it because you do it first. You build a portfolio, specialize in a special type of copy. So let's say you want to write emails, because every company needs emails. They need welcome emails, thank you emails, sales emails, content emails. They need a newsletter. And guess who's writing all those emails? Well, copywriters. And just like I have a retainer agreement with my client Improvement Pill, he pays me each month, and I write his emails. That's exactly what a lot of companies are doing. And it's not that hard to land such a retainer, and it's predictable revenue each month because those companies need these marketing assets. And the good thing is that it's not that hard to learn these things. And basically, you just, get in contact with a company, do this one project for free, or you can also do it for your uncle or your mom or anybody. You research how to write, good quality emails. You write 2 or 3 of these, then you have a portfolio. And then when you want to pitch a client for a paid project, you can show them your portfolio. You can explain why you did what you did. And there's a whole bunch of cool techniques, tips, and strategies that you can use to make sure that that client, realizes the value in your services and actually hires you. Just to give you an example, a lot of people don't use this, but it's super effective. You can just create a short Loom video or like a short screencast video in which you basically open the website of one of the companies that you want to work with, and you critique and analyze and audit that specific type of copy. You pinpoint the weaknesses. You suggest improvements. You tell them a few practical insights and tips and strategies on how they can improve it. And then you say, hey, this information is free. I'm not selling anything with it. You are free to use this however you want. However, if you would like me to implement this, if you would like me to do this for you, then let's set up a call and let's talk whether we're a good fit or not. And this is definitely a very very effective, non-salesy, non-aggressive way to quickly get clients, because guess how many people are sending them helpful quality videos like this on a day-to-day basis? Like almost nobody. So if they get an email from you or like a message from you with useful tips, like a 10-minute video, only a 10-minute video with all types of useful tips on how they can boost their website's effectiveness so that they can make more money, they're gonna be blown away. And then if you offer to help them with this, guess who they're gonna hire? Well, not some random Joe off the street or not some other Fiverr dude. They're gonna hire you because you're the one who's in their mind at that moment, and you're the one who obviously knows what they're doing. So this is just one of the techniques that I know of. I know a lot of these, and in my group coaching programs and other courses, I teach a lot of these things. But even if you just end up using this one technique, you can still see massive results with it. And speaking of results, this actually brings us to the third point, which is how to actually make sure that you deliver on your promise and give you those clients results. Because it's not easy, and copywriting, it's part creative, part scientific process, and it's very hard to predict how well that marketing campaign is gonna do. And ask any marketer on the planet who knows what they're doing, and they'll say, yes, we'll launch a campaign and everything, but we have no idea how it's gonna do. We have predictions, sure. We know, at least we hope, that it's gonna be gonna fall into a certain interval of results, but we have no idea whether it's gonna do really well or slightly okay or poorly. And sometimes, even for campaigns that have high hopes, they bomb. They basically fail miserably, and sometimes it's inverse. So you definitely gotta experiment with this, and you have to also make this as part of your copywriting process, because clients don't like it when they don't get results, and this can even basically kill your opportunities with that specific client, or kill any referral opportunities that they might give you. So you got to make sure that you communicate early how your process is based on data and on scientific things and everything, and there's a margin of error in the expected results. And it's totally normal to do this. Only bad quality clients expect 100% results all the time. If somebody expects that, they're gonna be an unreasonable client, and yes, you can maybe work with them to make some small amount of money, but they will never value you. They will never value your expertise, and they will never pay you real money and good money for your services. So I get it. A lot of people again end up on Fiverr because they have no process. They're a hit and miss, or they just I don't know, watch the simple Udemy course on how to be a copywriter, and then they think that's enough. Well, it's not enough. You definitely need a more specific, in-depth type of process, which a lot of people don't tell you about, because even if you Google this, the thing is, everybody's trying to share this, but nobody knows what they're talking about. Most people, at least 80% of copywriters, have no idea what they're talking about. They just rehearsing some type of process that might have worked for someone in the past, but it's not really repeatable. It's not really something that really works and that really communicates to the client that hey, I know what I'm doing. Okay, so even if this campaign even if it doesn't go as we planned, there's a lot of fail safes in the process, and the whole marketing campaign, the whole copywriting is based on data. It's based on customer research. I've done my part as a copywriter to do a bunch of research, and then I used proven formulas to construct a sales argument that is proven to be effective. So if it didn't work, there must be something else behind the scenes, and you should also know how to pinpoint these things, which again is a thing that a lot of people don't talk about. They just think that if something doesn't work, then that's it, they failed, or they just rewrite something, and that's it. But no, it's this is an elaborate process. It's not that hard, but you do need to take a certain number of steps, one after the other, to make sure that you use copywriting the right way. And again, this is something that I teach a lot of people on how to do. I also learned it from my mentors, and before that I had no idea how to do it. I would struggle and spend days, weeks agonizing over some detail that I thought would do well, but then it didn't do well, and then the client made me rewrite it 5 times, and then it still fired me and ended up not paying me part of my fees. But lesson learned. Now I know how to do this properly, and since gaining this information and using this framework, basically I never had a bad client since then, because I set expectations up front. They know what to expect. They respect me. They accept even if the campaign doesn't go too well, because they know that I know what I'm doing. And you can do this as well. You can do this too. You just have to communicate your process to the client, because it lowers their uncertainty, it makes them less anxious, and it shows that you're a real pro who knows what you're doing. So don't be afraid if you have no idea about this at the moment. Nobody does. You have to learn this from a mentor or from a specific program, or just spend 5-10 years experimenting with it. But it's okay. This is something that can be learned. And for now, just know that even though copywriting is a creative thing and sometimes results vary, there is a certain process that you can follow step by step to make sure that your copy converts well. So now the final thing I want to cover in this video is how to make sure that copywriting is right for you, and whether you can make a good career with it. So this is something that I see a lot of times all over the place. A lot of people think that in order to be a copywriter, you have to be a writer, you have to be a professional writer, you have to be an English major, you have to know literature, you have to know how to write books and be this mastermind writer type of guy, and you have to know business and everything. Well, in reality, the thing is that the best copywriters that I know of, they're usually college dropouts, or they're people who've been like door-to-door salesmen or in the trenches doing grunt work in the sales department or in the marketing department. And the reason why they're good copywriters is because they know how humans work. They know how people make decisions in real life, and they don't get confused by all the bullshit that people are saying, because people are saying all types of things. Yes, I would buy that product. I would buy it if it were like this way, if it was that way. I wouldn't buy it. I would like it to be green or blue or anything. People are always, saying things that they feel at the moment. But the thing is that in reality, at the end of the day, they make decisions in a wildly different way. And many times, what they actually do is totally opposite from what they're saying. And you probably also noticed this yourself at some point. Like, I'm sure there were people in your life, friends, family members, girlfriends, boyfriends, who said something that they would do it, and they would always do something else. And you were probably confused by this and frustrated beyond reason. Like, oh my God, you said something like, you're so confusing. How can you do something else when you said something totally different? Well, the thing is that this is normal, and this is something that that copywriters discover. Why is it like this? and how you can better predict what people are going to do regardless of what they're saying. So I bring this up because this is important for you, both in terms of dealing with people when you're a copywriter, but also figuring out whether you could be a good copywriter. Because as I said before, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't a pie in the sky magic pill thing that you just, you get the magic pill secret, you take it once, and then you're this superstar copywriter. It doesn't work like that, and nothing in life works like that. Everybody who's saying that there's a magic pill are basically overhyping something that they want to sell. Maybe some type of medicines work, like a vaccine works just by you getting injected with it. But as with almost anything else in life, you have to work for this. So copywriting is definitely not for people who are complainers and who don't want to put in the work, who just want an easy life and quick money and have everything their way without doing any work, without learning anything, without basically putting in the hours that's needed to be a master at something. Now, I'm not saying that, you have to grind yourself and hustle around for 10 years just to, make $1,000 a month or something. No, you can definitely get started very quickly. Like when I got started years ago, I knew nothing about copywriting. And after 2 weeks, only 2 weeks, I got my first paying client at a $50 an hour. And I was making more than $1,000 per month from this. And I basically, again, had no idea what copywriting is. I just read a few things. I did a course and basically that's it. So it's definitely easy to get started if you know what you're doing. But as with anything else in life, it's hard to master it. And you do need to put in a lot of time to master it. And you can decide whether it's worth it or not. Because if you invest the time to master it, then your earnings are going to go through the roof exponentially. But if you don't put in the time, you just become average, it's totally fine. You can still make good money with it. You can still become a 6-figure copywriter with it if you're just average or above average. Or you can just, work for a company as an in-house copywriter and make good money with it. But you do have to decide what you want to do. And I'm just telling you up front that, copywriting and copywriting trainings or programs aren't really for people who are complainers, who are naysayers, who are always looking for ways out, who don't show up on calls, who don't do their assignments, who don't do anything but then blame others for their problems. But then again, nothing that's really productive is for those people. So if you think that you're this type of guy or gal, it's totally okay. There are ample ways to make money and to have a career which is more forgiving for these types of people, but it's definitely not copywriting. However, if you are the type of person who likes learning new stuff, who likes engaging and doing the assignments and you can follow instructions and you like learning in group settings with others, or you enjoyed this in school maybe, then this can definitely be for you. And if you have the right roadmap, the right step-by-step process, then this will definitely change your life and give you a shortcut to becoming a high-paid copywriter pretty quickly. And let me tell you something. Most people think that copywriting is this mystical thing that, you cannot really put your hands around. But the thing is that anybody can learn this if they have the right mindset, and it's easier to get started than you probably think. Like, I had no idea what copywriting was when I got started. I had no experience in it, and even I managed to land a paying client within 2 weeks that paid me over $1,000 a month. So it's definitely okay if you're afraid of this, if you think that you're just lost in this whole thing. It can work for anyone, and you don't even have to have good English for it, because a lot of people, again, think that, you have to have perfect English for copywriting. I'm a Hungarian. My English is pretty good, okay, that's true, but I could work as a Hungarian copywriter as well. I chose to work in English because I like English. But if you are from a non-English speaking country, then that's not a problem for you to become a copywriter for a company in your own native tongue. And let me tell you something, the copywriting center in the world is in the United States. So the best quality copywriters, the most highest paying companies are inside the United States. That's true. But if you're from India, for example, and you think that there's no opportunity there to become a copywriter or that people don't pay enough there, yes, they pay lower than the United States, but there's way less competition for good or even average quality copywriters who want to help Indian companies with their marketing. And it's way easier to land, high quality clients as an Indian copywriter in India than to land high quality clients as an English copywriter in the United States. So there are good quality clients everywhere around the world, and they're willing to pay good money for you. And that might even, cause you to land projects all around the globe, like I have. Like I have clients from the US, I have clients from Germany, I have clients from Israel, I have clients from Latin America, from the UK, so all around the world. So even if your English is not perfect, you can definitely choose whether you want to work in your own native tongue or you want to work on the English market. And even if you work on an English market, you still don't have to have perfect English, because remember, you're oftentimes behind the scenes writing stuff. So nowadays, there's so many free tools like Grammarly, or you just hire an editor maybe, or a proofreader who can make the text a little bit better in terms of grammar and structure and sentences. The main idea here is that if you know how to persuade people, if you know how copywriting works, it doesn't matter what language you're writing in, because the idea and the persuasion psychology behind the copy is the thing that really counts. It's not the grammar, it's not the word structure that you use. Sure, that also has an effect, but it's way easier to outsource this to somebody else for cheap than to outsource the creative process of coming up with the persuasive ideas. And this is really powerful, and a lot of people neglect this, but if you're open to learning how humans work and how they make decisions, then you can definitely become a good copywriter, even if you're not a good writer. In fact, the best quality copy doesn't use complex words or sentences. It uses basic words that anybody at a 6th level grade can read. So do you think you could write text that a 6th grader could read? I bet you could. And with this, you have the opportunity to do so and get paid a lot of money to do it. So I don't know about you, but I think that's definitely a winning combination. Now, I do realize that even though I probably gave you a lot of tips, and hopefully this was helpful for you, and I did cover the most common questions that I see, the thing is that I still get a lot of questions from people, and even if people know these things, oftentimes they just need extra help, hand-holding, accountability, or personal support, or just that step-by-step framework that I mentioned before. So that's why, after years of putting this to the side, I've decided to basically create a step-by-step copywriting program to teach people how to really do this, to how to become freelance copywriters and to start earning serious money with it. But, I definitely didn't want to create a course, because courses are one thing, they're usually passive information, and most people don't even complete these courses, let alone implement all these things. So instead, I wanted to design a program which included a lot of live elements and accountability and personal support, because people do need this, especially once they're getting started. So I've put together a deep dive training that over the course of 5 weeks are going to take you, or anyone who joins, from total newbie, knows nothing about copywriting or getting clients, to having a solid understanding of the fundamentals of copywriting, how to be a freelancer, and how to get clients in just 5 weeks. So this is how the program is going to look like. So we're going to have 5 live calls each an hour long, and then half an hour Q&A session at the end of those calls to take your questions. And then the cool thing about this whole thing is that the curriculum of the whole training program is fluid. So after the first call, we're gonna get together with students and discuss what things they'd like to learn the most about in the second call. And then at the end of the second call, we're gonna get together and decide what the third call should be about, and so on. And the best part is that these 5 calls are going to cover the 5 main things that I mentioned in this video. And these are all the things that most people are struggling with. So regardless of your situation, or whether you think that you could never learn this, these 5 calls will be designed specifically so that you get answers to your questions, you get assignments, you get extra support, you get worksheets, checklists, all types of bonuses to make sure that you succeed. And you also get a supportive community that helps you, and that will serve as like your own elite unit, so that you can learn together and implement together, and then even share results with each other together. I think it's pretty cool, and most courses definitely don't do this, and that's the reason why most people don't complete those courses. But the cool thing about this is that it's gonna be live. Obviously, if you cannot make it to the live call, you're gonna get the recording and you're gonna get lifetime access for it. But this type of teaching has proven to be much more effective than just a passive course, and that's why I'm structuring this program this way. So this is coming out very, very soon. I'm gonna be having the first class as early as next week, Tuesday next week. And one more thing, this is going to be a relatively intimate type of class, because I want to make it more like a group coaching program, and make sure that I can focus on each individual student to help them. So spots will be very limited for this course, and I'm gonna let you in on a secret right now. This will basically be a beta launch of the program, because we're gonna build it together with this first cohort of students. But once this is over, and the whole program will launch for real for the general market, it's going to be at least 2.5 times more expensive. So I'm launching this first cohort at a very, very affordable price, because I do want to make this as affordable as possible for a lot of people. It's still an investment. It's not that much, especially in today's world. But if you get in, you'll be sure to get personal support from other people and from me as well over the course of these 5 weeks. And this is the best way to keep the class intimate and more productive than any other type of program. So here's the deal. Under this video, there's gonna be a link that, if you click, will take you to a sign-up form where you can enter your name and email address, and then you'll get on a VIP list. So you'll be the first to know when the program launches, and you'll be able to decide later on whether this is the right fit for you or not. If not, it's no problem. I realize this is not for everybody. In fact, I don't want everybody. I just want the right fits inside this program. But if this is something that you're interested in and you've watched until this point in the video, then that shows that you're definitely super interested in copywriting. And this program could be the next step for you. So go ahead and put your name and email address in the form below this video, and I'll make sure to send you an email a few days before the course launches, so you get an extra special early bird opportunity to join it as soon as possible. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are still watching, you're definitely awesome, man. You're one of my true fans, and I hope it was super useful for you, super valuable. And yeah, one more time, if you're interested in this type of program, then leave your name and email address below this video, and I'll see you inside. Thanks again. Have a nice day. Cheers.